So in this video, we'll be talking about the moon in Taurus in the 8th house natal placement. So generally speaking, what the moon shows us in our chart is it shows us a resource that we use creatively in our lives in order to sustain ourselves. And also it shows us security and what gives us emotional fulfillment in our charts. Now, in this case, it's in the sign of Taurus, which is the sign of wealth and resources. And it's in the 8th house, which is associated with the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio and Taurus are opposites. They contradict each other. They actually complement each other, but at the same time, they are two different approaches to things. Scorpio rules the resources of others and the wealth of others. And it rules power and control in our charts because it shows the control that we have over what is other people's stuff, and also the control that we have over people's psychology, or the understanding, I would say, of people's psychology and knowing people's desires. And then Taurus, of course, is about our own wealth and our own self-sufficiency. So when you have the moon in Taurus, this indicates that you are somebody that is practical and resourceful. But in this case, it's in the 8th house. So this indicates being practical or resourceful about not only your own resources, but the resources of others. So you are somebody that knows how to utilize the desires and the needs of others in order to create wealth for yourself. Now, a lot of times this indicates the capability to gain wealth in your chart when you have this placement. And you can be a wealthy individual, but the thing is, since the moon is in the 8th house, which is a malefic house, and technically the moon is a little bit debilitated in the 8th house, but it's exalted in Taurus. Anyways, as I was saying, it's in the 8th house, which is fixed water. In astrology, and fixed just means a constant state, and water is about connections, emotions, or like attachments, and it's also about creativity as well. So since your moon is in this house, which is about constant connection to others, you may have a lot of wealth, but a particular thing about it is that people that have this placement, a lot of times their wealth will be somehow connected to another entity. So like maybe your wealth comes from having loans and you turning the loans into a business. And like, so you'll have a lot of wealth, but then at the same time, you'll be like kind of juggling debt at the same time. Or like maybe you have a lot of wealth, but since your moon is in the 8th house, this indicates that your security comes from sharing wealth or sharing situations of stability or of interpersonal dynamics with other people. So like you may have a lot of wealth, but then you have a lot of people leeching off of it. That's another indication. Or like you're sharing it with somebody that you must take care of. And so anyways, all I'm trying to say is with the 8th house, it indicates there is likely like complications that comes with your financial situation. But since your moon is exalted in Taurus, ultimately you're just a very resourceful individual and you know how to navigate these situations. So you know even how to turn debt into wealth. And a lot of times you create wealth for other people. And so since the moon is in the 8th house, which is the 5th house from the 4th house, and the moon rules the 4th house, there's an influence of 5th in your placement. So the 5th house is about creation, and it's about expression, and it's about giving value to others. So a lot of times you're generous with your wealth, especially with specific individuals that play an important role in your life, at least on an emotional level. So they may become dependent on you, but also you're somebody that, generally speaking, by using the meaning of the 5th house, since your moon is in the 5th from the 4th, you are somebody that's able to create wealth for both yourself and others, because you're resourceful and you're like logical, I guess, or like practical about resources, and you know how to leverage other people's desires, and you know how to get your own needs met, as indicated by the moon being in Taurus. So anyways, I feel like this basically covered most of what I wanted to for this video. I may have forgotten one or two things, but we will cover that in a future video perhaps. And I guess the most important part was the ability to utilize the resources of others, or to leverage your own resources in order to create situations of wealth for both yourself and other people. That's kind of the best way to sum up this placement. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you saw yourself in any way in this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more content. And other than that, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do. And I will see you guys sometime soon in another video.